Just gonna wait those few seconds to make sure that I'm actually live. What's up, you guys? So, I've been away kind of because my schedule was particularly demanding physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not even gonna front. My job is not even that hard. It's just that it could be better. That's it. And I'm just not in my best form and shape. But, anyways, here I am. And I was looking at my list of pending videos and I noticed the one about the thing that we see being thrown around like it's spices on food, which is cultural appropriation. And I'm like, you know what? I've never talked about this. So let's go over it. So, for those of you who do not know what is meant by cultural appropriation, it's this thing that's said in modern days about, say, you guys know how it's presented, projected, whatever, that the white culture is all dominant and the white man is evil and this and that. Therefore, anything that they do is bad if it's against minorities, all that good stuff. Basically, it's when the superior group of people, let's say white people, take elements from another culture, a more minority culture, and then they decide to borrow it. But in the process of borrowing it, it's like they're altering it in a way to suit their agenda. That is honestly what I understand by cultural appropriation. It's like you're appropriating the culture, not your culture. You're taking stuff from another culture and you're owning it. I wish I would have looked up a definition before sitting here because maybe I may be getting the definition wrong, but I'm pretty confident that based on the context of every single story that I have read where someone does something that's culturally appropriating someone else, I feel like that's the definition. But, anyways, in the event that it's not, you guys correct me later. But, anyways, I think it's one of the most ridiculous and most absurd things ever because I'm remembering recently there was this girl who posted some prom picture. I think it was over Twitter or something. It was trending on Twitter. And everyone was giving her hell because she was wearing some kind of Chinese dress and they were accusing her of culturally appropriating China. And I'm like, what's so wrong about that? As far as I'm concerned, every time I see a story like this come up, the people from that country end up saying that they're actually happy that they are wearing stuff from their culture. It's like it gives them popularity. I also remember seeing a video of two Japanese girls who were being interviewed by another Japanese guy, and they were asking he was asking them if it's wrong for women from other countries to wear kimono. And then the ladies were like, no, because if anything, it makes people see more stuff about Japan, learn more stuff about Japan, and appreciate our style and what we do. And I'm like, exactly. Anytime that I do something that is more commonly done in another culture, I don't feel like I'm invading it. I don't feel like I'm disrespecting it. It's like the way I look at it, it's like, say, if we are all eating tacos, that's culturally appropriate in Mexico because that's primarily the dish that we associate Mexico with, Like, it's just crazy to me. If the ingredients exist, such as the corn, and then you somehow turn that into a floury substance that you just toast real good and you throw beef in it and lettuce and cheese and all kinds of good ingredients, if the ingredients exist, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you use that? See what I mean? To me, it's just absurd that you're trying to make a group of people feel terrible or guilty about borrowing stuff that exists in the planet as a resource for you to do things with. See what I mean? It's like, it's just crazy because I can imagine myself suddenly wearing a kimono and then I get like I come under fire for that. And I'm like, why are you guys so angry? At least I'm wearing clothes. You know who you should be angry at? The people who exhibit themselves in a very, like, indecent way. Those people you should be mad at. But I'm not burning this dress. I'm not spitting on this dress. I'm not stepping on this dress. I'm not cutting it up or doing anything terrible to it. So why are you mad? Why are you concerned? I feel like people these days just look for something to be mad about and cause sensation to just have this position of I'm fighting for something, or I'm just convincing someone that they're being damaging to another culture that doesn't even see offense with what we're doing. See what I mean? That's the thing that I have issues with about this cultural appropriation thing. It's like the culture that a certain group of people is pretending to be defending doesn't even find it offensive in the first place. See what I mean? So, anyways, let me see what you guys are saying. Um, Hey Sam. Hey John. She was hot. I agree, she was pretty. Totally agree. Sam's cultural appropriation is ridiculous. Only blacks in America complain about this. No other country takes offense at it. Think about black women stealing white styles like straight hair, wigs, etc. Why is that okay? I don't really understand the whole thing myself, even after hearing it explained, but I kind of think that if someone is getting offended on someone else's behalf, it's not that offensive. Exactly. Exactly. It's like I have never seen, say, the Japanese people have an uprising of some sort when someone else from other countries played their games. Like, what are common games from Japan? I don't know. It left my head. But, anyways, stuff like, those games that are arcadish and they're typically associated with Japan, the anime stuff and all that. Imagine if the Japanese decided, you guys are absolutely appropriating our culture by, taking our anime and watching it and loving it and promoting it and enjoying it and making side stories about it and, demonstrating so much love and interest and passion and all that good stuff. You know, they don't do that because they are not ridiculous people. They don't have time for that. They're not people who are looking for conflict. Like, I associate the Japanese with being very peaceful people. And the more videos that I watched about them, the more convinced about that I became. So, or imagine if I all of a sudden started wearing, like, I don't know, some type of Hollywoody type of dress. I'm appropriating the Hollywood culture. Like, what is that? Dresses are not synonym of being from Hollywood. See what I mean? So, or makeup. You guys know I don't wear makeup, but if I started wearing makeup, it's like I'm appropriating all the cultures that wear makeup and name a culture that doesn't wear makeup. I guess I don't know. It's one of these things that if I'm stumbling on my words a lot, it's because I don't get it. I don't understand it. I cannot think this way, but in the opposite manner, which is I don't see why other people are affected when the issue is not even with them. Like, how does this affect your life? It's crazy. Let's see, where did I leave off? Common games from Japan, most of them from the 90s, I think. We have our own Chinatown here in New York and LA. China is building its fake replica of Paris, London, the Eiffel Tower, all taking some piece of something. Exactly. You just informed me about that, Pamela, and I had no idea about that. So, if I have no idea about it, it's because no one is complaining about it or protesting about it, right? Unless I miss the trend. But see what I mean? I feel like stuff gets attacked depending on who does it. And that's the thing that just needs to be put to a halt. I feel like some groups have more privileges than others. They get forgiven more than others on certain things, whereas others just don't get a pass for it. And I just wish I understood why that is. Like, where does that ignorance come from? What is the origin of that ignorance, and how can we tackle it so that we can have a planet that's a little less toxic? Because this is getting absurd. Like, I think about my children in the future. I'm like, is this really where I want for you guys to live in? Going through this BS. It's just crazy to me. It's absurd. I feel like at some point in history we weren't worrying about stuff like this. Yeah, we had more harsh things that we were going through, but I feel like progress was a little more significant. Sometimes modern days make me feel like we're going backward on some things. I may be wrong. I may not be thinking this through very well. But, anyways, you guys, that's just my opinion. I think that there is no such thing as you owning something, because, as far as I'm concerned, if you live in this planet, you are entitled to its resources. Not in excess like the people in power, but if you have access to something and it's in your hands, why not do something with it? You know? Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy. The more I try to think about it more critically, the more absurd I think it is. Dreadlocks come from Viking raiders that attacked northern Africa. In the past, a lot of things were being ignored that shouldn't. Nowadays, I think it's gone a little too far the other way, but I have faith things will balance themselves out eventually. Yeah, hopefully that'll happen before I turn into dust. I agree, all here for our creation and consumption and enjoyment, etc., etc. But then a group of fools back in the good old days, along with other groups of fools, decided that they wanted to take control of resources, and then that's why we have these wars and all these problems. Basically, mankind created all of its problems. You cannot convince me that life is supposed to be this stressful and complicated. No. Well, you guys, that's really all that I had to say on this matter. I hope that I made myself clearly. I feel like I didn't. I made myself clear. I feel like I didn't. But in the event that I think this through a little better and I have anything to add, I'll make sure to revisit this topic. But for right now, you just need to know that my stand is I don't get it. I think people just love to generate conflict just to have something to pretend to be a warrior about, like a fighter about. It's like, you know how in the 60s we had the civil rights movement and shit? I think that some people are trying to provoke something in modern days, more modern days, to put their names out there, put their faces out there. Like, it seems like these are more peaceful times in human history. So someone's trying to create something to become the next Martin Luther King. Just my opinion. You don't have to roll with that or take me too seriously on that, but sometimes that's really what I believe. I agree. You'll hear from everything. Have a good holiday, Zam's awesome topic. Yeah, thanks a lot. And I hope that you guys have a good one. Tomorrow I am going to be working, but I do not see why I cannot come back to you guys. Probably, is it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday. It may be a little rough for me to show my face around here, but if I can upload 30 seconds of Dusty being Dusty, then I'll do that to show signs of life. But I do intend in coming back. I'm around. I'm just a little like overwhelmed having no life because of work, but nothing lasts forever. Come back soon, Sam's. Count on it. You are speaking English, appropriating culture right now. Oh my goodness. You are so right. My God. You are so right. But guess what? I was born into it, so why not? All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.